Olá, estamos no ar com mais um Enzima Live Show, nosso programa bissemanal aqui no canal da Pluri, onde a gente fala sobre inovação, tecnologia, mundo digital, startups, esportes eletrônicos, sempre recebendo profissionais da indústria para trocar essa ideia com a gente sobre esses assuntos que a gente tanto ama. Antes de eu apresentar o nosso convidado especialíssimo de hoje, só lembrar a vocês que essas nossas conversas aqui viram podcasts nas principais plataformas de podcast, então você pode ouvir também no Deezer, no Google Podcasts, pode ouvir no Spotify. Se você preferir essas plataformas, você pode ouvir. Se não, esses vídeos continuam aqui no YouTube para a posteridade. Como eu falei, convidado especialíssimo de hoje, internacional, Mohammad Ali Abbaspour, ele que é fundador e CEO da Sponix uma empresa do Qatar que criou uma tecnologia, na verdade, 3 produtos sensacionais utilizando tecnologia, produtos que basicamente para vídeo, né? Aumenta engajamento, cria análises muito bacanas durante partidas, após partidas, e ele veio conversar conosco aqui sobre a empresa, sobre essa tecnologia, visão de futuro, enfim, veio trocar essa ideia conosco. So, Mohammad, welcome to Enzima. Thanks for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. I would like to start asking you to tell us a little bit about your career before starting Hispanic Tech. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and this opportunity that you allowed me to speak with your audiences. Yes, I'm Mohammad and CEO and founder of Hispanic. From when I was a kid, I had a passion for sport and also for technology. And after that, also I continued my study in university, also in IT management field, and also I was a professional football player as well. So I continued both sides parallelly, and from 8-9 years ago, around 2012. I started to produce some technologies and some products that are that were for the sport technology field, and that product was unique in the region, just in MENA region, not worldwide, what like we are doing right now in Hispanics. And I gathered very great team from 2012, and we worked a lot in this kind of products and technologies. But after that, in 2018, we decided to have another big step and have something unique, not just in the region and but worldwide. So this is what this is why we started Hispanics in 2018.
That's perfect. And you are based in Qatar, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's perfect. So explain to those who don't know, what is Hispanic Tech and what do you do? We'll show some videos later, but please give a brief view of what the company is, please.
Yes. Hispanics is a company that we are developing some unique technologies that can be very interesting for sports industry, for clubs, for leagues, for right holders, and also the most important for fans. And so we have developed 2 unique technologies until now, and both technologies are novel right now worldwide, and we have no competitor can produce this kind of outputs that we are producing without any hardware, without any investment in the sport venues. And maybe it will be good to know also what's the meaning of Hispanics. It's the combination of sport and phoenix. Phoenix is a mythical animal, as you know, and because the first technology that we have developed was immersive replay, or SPOV, that you mentioned. So the concept is some flying camera and and also they call it bird eye as well. So this is what the Phoenix was important for us to have in our name, because that was our first technology. So we choose sport and Phoenix, and together that was Hispanics.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So during the Champions League, I saw that you were always sharing some videos of the technology in the partnership that you have with RMC in France, right?
Yes.
So what clients have you worked with and are working with now?
What clients?
Yeah.
Okay. We are continuing our work with RMC for next season, and also we are in touch with some other big broadcasters in Europe and also in Asia and also in South America. We had a very great meeting yesterday. I can't name the brands and broadcasters because it's not finalized yet. And also the main purpose of our work for next season of Champions League is that working directly with UEFA, and we are in touch with them, and we had some meetings, and maybe instead of working with UEFA broadcasters directly, we work with UEFA for next season, and so all other broadcasters of Champions League will have our contents. And also, we are working with some leagues in Asia, like UAE Pro League, and some clubs in Europe, like Benfica. And we are in close negotiations with some big other names, clubs, leagues, and broadcasters for next season. And hopefully, you will see big cooperation between Hispanics and big names in next weeks, hopefully.
Yeah. So I know that you can't name the possible clients here in the Latin America region, but could you at least say that is it in Brazil, is it in another country? Can you just give a tip?
Just yesterday, we had a very good meeting with the biggest broadcaster in Brazil.
That's great.
Yes, and also we have some plans for working with some right holders of Brazil Serie A league regarding both technologies, the SPOV and SP board. So hopefully we will have some footprint in Brazil soon as well.
Yeah, hopefully. So let's start talking about the technology. As I mentioned, you have incredible technology. So you have three different products. They are all really cool, and I would like to talk a little bit about each one of them. The first one is the SPOV technology, and while we talk, I'll show a video of the technology working. But we can continue talking. No problem about it. How does the technology work, specifically the SPOV? Is it something that requires different cameras or hardware inside a stadium?
All three technologies that you mentioned, we are using AI, machine learning, computer vision, and cloud computing for producing this kind of outputs. And at the beginning, it's good that I should mention that SPOV and Espano is very similar together. So somehow they are one technology, but the outputs are different. But the SP board technology is a different technology. But for all of them, we are using AI, machine learning, and computer vision and cloud computing. The main point is, and it's for all of our technologies, we don't need anything. We don't need anything in the stadium, and we just using the broadcasted feed. Even we don't use the raw feed of the cameras. So it's very interesting for the experts in the industry because, as I mentioned at the beginning, there is no other company can do this kind of things without any extra hardware or specific hardwares in the stadium. So with SPOV, we are creating new experience like never before for the fans, and we can show them what was the vision of some of the players in the most important moment of the match, and it can be very interesting for fans, and also sometimes for the coach and for the players itself after the game.
That's pretty interesting. So I remember that you shared a video of that Sterling, the goal that Sterling lost in the
Yeah,
Champions League game,
yes,
and was incredible. Was amazing to see that he had the goal all for him, and he
exactly.
didn't make it. So
Exactly. Sterling is a brilliant player, but
yeah.
on that moment he missed very big opportunity, and that was very interesting for RMC audiences. What was his vision on that moment? And yes, you are right. It's interesting.
So you mentioned that you don't need extra cameras, you don't need extra hardware. What do you need? You need just the main camera feed. You need all the camera feeds that are available. What do you need to apply the technology?
It's a very good question. Just we are using the broadcasted feed of the match, the program feed of the match, like any other audiences, any other fans that they are seeing the match. We are using the broadcasted feed of the match. So from that, our technology can calibrate the stadium and can make the environment of the stadium, and also in the particular moment we can put every element on their places and show the scene from a new angle. And very important point is we don't make anything, because as you know, the most important thing is to have the scene very accurate and 100% based on reality, and we don't change anything, we don't make anything, we just show the scene from new angle. So every single position of ball, of players, of referee, of goals, all of them are real and automatic.
That's perfect. And how long does it take to process the video? Is it possible to have videos during the game, or is this a technology to be, to show those videos on a post-game analysis?
Our main purpose and our main target is to having this kind of videos during the match, and it's good to know before the final round of Champions League in Portugal, before COVID-19 situation, during the PSG vs Dortmund match on the last match day of the Champions League before COVID-19. We produced one immersive replay from the eyes of Neymar from the first goal of the match, and that was broadcasted live during 90 minutes. That was a great cooperation with RMC again, and that was so interesting for their audiences, because the processing time is different, between 8 to 15, sometimes 20 minutes. So
Okay.
usually the broadcasters can show this kind of content live during 90 minutes. But for example, what we did with RMC, because they weren't in the stadium, so they hadn't control to add new replay during the match. So this is that was why they used our contents in the final round for the post match. But as I mentioned, before COVID-19, when the match was in Paris, they used our content during 90 minutes. And for next season, we have planned to have our content during the live feeds. It's our prefer, but we should see how the broadcasters and clients and leagues, they want to use our contents.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So the technology is really awesome, like I said, to TV viewers, to analysts, but I can also see a lot of value for players' decision-making training, referee training too. Is it something that is on your radar?
Yes, exactly. We had two great meetings with FIFA top managers, and they were so interested to add our contents to the VAR system, and we had a great discussion about that, and we are working on that, and maybe soon you can see some value added contents for VAR. We are working right now. It's very new progress that we have right now that I'm sharing with you. That we are working to decreasing the processing time even less than 2 minutes. And sometimes, and right now we are working to decrease the processing time for the view of the referee in less than 1 minute, because we are eliminating because we are deleting the environment for some referee decision purpose. So we are working to have the referee view in less than 1 minute. So in that case, it's not important to have the environment perfectly with all the details. So we are customizing a version for referee views that it can be at the same time that when the referee is checking the VAR various angles for making the final decision, at the same time we have opportunity to show the audiences what was the referee view, and I think it's very interesting in near future for football audiences, and we are working on that. And as I mentioned, we had very good discussion with top managers of FIFA about that as well.
That's great to know. So, just by curiosity, when you mention decrease the processing time, is it a matter just of having more computer power, or you have to change the algorithm? And how does
Both.
that work?
It's both, but the our resources regarding the cloud computing as our computer is okay right now, but it can be better. It can be better, but the main point is um, improving our algorithms and our technology and learning our technology for various positions. So it is what we are working on that.
That's perfect. And another question about it. So the whole processing happens on the cloud, right? You don't have to install some kind of software within the clients. You just receive the
Exactly.
main feed and you process all on the cloud, right?
Exactly. And especially because these crazy days on COVID-19 situation, the travel and also any kind of interfering with the current process of production teams are very difficult, because delivering the match is the uh, main purpose right now in this situation. So it's very hard to integrate anything new with any production team. But our main core competence is that we can produce all these outputs purely software based, 100% remotely, and just they can use our contents during the match or for the post match or broadcasters for the pre match.
That's really, really great, man. So another product that you have is Hispano. You mentioned that it's basically the same technology as SPOV. So I'll have basically I'll ask the basically the same questions that I asked before. So is this the time to process a video pretty much the same, like you mentioned, between 8 and 15 minutes? Is it the
Exactly.
same? Okay, and
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And all the answers is very similar to SPOV, because the engine and the technology is very similar. Just the outputs is different. And the main point again is that we just using the existing camera in the stadium, and just using the broadcast feed of the match. And this is our main point.
That's perfect. So nowadays, viewers want to have control of what they are watching more and more. In the future, is it possible to think about allowing viewers to have that kind of technology on their hands so they can select and process the videos that they want during the broadcast and then share those videos with their network? Is it possible to think about something like this?
Yes, honestly, we can't do this right now, but it's our near-term plan to have some similar platform to do something similar. But because we are just using the feed of the match and we haven't any hardware and any camera in the stadium, it's too hard to have very user-friendly platform that anyone can work with that. But our system is very simple for the experts and they can work with that. But for having our platform in hand of the fans, we have plan about that. But right now we haven't any solution for that.
That's perfect. And last question about SPOV and SPANO. Those technologies can be applied to other sports than football, right?
Yes, and we had some study for ice hockey, for cricket, for tennis, and for this sport, we have some near-term plan as well. And for some other sports, also we can apply our technology. But the main point is because we are a growing startup that's growing very fast, and our resources and our team are expanding day by day. But we have some limitation, especially regarding our team. So our main concentrate right now is football, because I should say all the team are passionate of the football and they love football. So and also the business of football is very big in all of the world. So our main concentrate right now is the football and improving our solution for football. But maybe we for that sports that I mentioned, for tennis, cricket, ice hockey, less than 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we can have a specific version for that sport as well. But we haven't any plan right now because our main concentrate is for football right now.
Yeah, so I believe that you have to train your algorithm to be
Exactly.
able to recognize other environments and all that kind of stuff, right?
Surely. Yes, we should train and learn our technology for other sports, and we can do this.
That's perfect. And I believe you're right, because like you mentioned, football is the biggest sport in the world. So I believe
Yes.
you are totally right about that focus. So the third product that you have is SP board. So how does the SP board technology work? Do you have to calibrate the cameras beforehand? And if you do, how long before?
Very good point. Again, like the SPOV and Spano, like the other technologies, we don't need anything in a stadium. And it's the main point again, that we don't need any sensor, any specific billboards, any specific patterns or colors in a stadium, or any specific cameras. Just we need the feed of the match, and again, the broadcasted feed, not the raw feed of, for example, main camera or any other cameras. And we just need the broadcasted feed. And regarding the calibration, we should know in which stadium we want to work, because we should have all the details and all the elements. For example, the placement of the fan seats, or the fan seat is the most important point, because the 3D carpets next to the goals, or the circle in middle of the field, or even the billboards is not a big issue, because it's very similar to various stadiums. But fan seats usually is much different in different stadiums. So we should know in which stadium we want to work, just few hours before the match, if you know that it will be good. And also we need 10 to 15 minutes before the kickoff, we need one time we need to have a main camera moving from a side of the stadium to another side. One time, if it's move, it will be enough for us. So we don't need any other thing or any other requirements.
That's perfect. And what about latency? Is this technology something that brings some kind of latency to the feed, or you can apply it live?
Our processing time for this technology is less than 2 seconds. It's less than 2 seconds, and it's our processing time. But for receiving and sending back the feed, also for each way, we will have just 1 second. So totally, it will be less than 4 seconds. 1 second for receiving the feed, 2 seconds for processing, and 1 second to sending back the feed to the broadcaster. And the main point is, because we are working on cloud computing, for example, if we want to work with Brazilian Serie A league, we will have a cloud server in Rio de Janeiro, Google Cloud or Amazon Cloud, and the feed will go to that cloud and it will be back to the OB van or production room or any other places. So we don't need to have the feed in our office in Qatar. So we will have a very low quality feed that it come to our office, but just for monitoring the situation. So the delay will be less than 4 seconds, and it's very, very huge revolution in this kind of virtual advertisement industry. Because right now, for example, what our competitors doing in La Liga or in Bundesliga, also they have 2 to 3 seconds delay, but in the OB van, in the production room. And the main point is, all the competitors, they can just work with non-encoded format like SDI, raw format, raw feed. But what we can do, we can work with encoded format like SRT and RTMP, and it's very big point for us.
That's perfect. And another question about it, is it possible to have like customizable messages? Like if a player scores a goal, you can put a customizable, there was a goal, maybe you can buy now and you get a 10% discount, some kind of customizable message during the game?
Exactly. Because we developed all the services from the scratch, and so we have a lot of control in all the details, and we can change anything in real time during the match, and even we can change the contrast and brightness of each sponsor logo, or we can do anything. So yes, we can do the same as you mentioned as well.
That's perfect, Mohammed. So now, taking a step back from Sponix Tech and looking from a macro perspective, what is the role that technology has in the future of sports, in your opinion?
I think technology has very big impact on the sports industry in future, like what it did in recent years regarding changing the fan experience, and also in improving the athletes' performance, and also helping the right holders, leagues and clubs, to have new revenue streams. So I think it's very important. It has very big important role in the sports industry.
That's perfect. And last question now, what is the company's vision for the next 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years?
In next seasons, from the next season until next 5 years and next years after that, we want to implementing our technologies to the best leagues, and we want to work with best clubs and broadcasters in all of the world. And we want to implement our technologies in the mega events like Olympic and World Cup. That we believe we can do that in next years. And also we are creating new other novel technologies that can be that can be game changer in the sports industry. We have some big ideas in our mind, and even we started something for other technologies as well. But in near future, hopefully, we can have other novel technologies.
That's perfect. So just one more question, because you mentioned the World Cup. Can we expect to see Sponix Tech on Qatar World Cup in 2022?
Hopefully, yes, because we were in touch with FIFA top managers, as I mentioned, from 2019. But on that moment, just we had some proof of concept. We hadn't any product, any final technology. And the main point that we are a Qatari company, and we have very good relations with Supreme Committee and very good support from Qatar government, and also our technologies can be so useful, especially for defense. Personally, I think implementing the virtual ads for World Cup it's very difficult, because the right issues for the World Cup is so complicated. But we are thinking right now to have new spaces for advertisement during the World Cup. But I think our SPO and Hispano technology can be useful for the fan experience during the World Cup.
Yeah, it definitely would be. FIFA should have it, definitely. It's incredible technology. So, Mohammad, thank you so much for your time, for sharing your knowledge with us. Congratulations for those amazing technologies that you are developing, and we hope to see those technologies being applied here in Brazil, so we can use that too. And I would like to give you space to send our Brazilian audience a message now.
Thank you so much. First, thank you for you, because of this opportunity that you allowed me to speak with Brazilian audiences, and we have some very good Brazilian friends as well. So personally, I really like Brazil and its people, and that was a very big pleasure for me to speak with your audiences.
Thank you, Mohammad. So I will speak a little bit in Portuguese now, okay?
Ok, thank you so much.
Pessoal, esse foi então Mohammad Ali Abbaspour, ele que é fundador e CEO da Sponix Tech, como vocês puderam ver aqui. Cara, produtos muito bacanas, tecnologias sensacionais que com certeza agregam muito para donos de direitos, para emissoras, porque traz uma nova perspectiva para os fãs poderem ver o jogo, para os analistas poderem analisar, e inclusive, como eu falei também, treinamento para jogador em relação a poder de decisão, né, na hora de decidir o que fazer, treinamento para árbitros. Então, super bacana as tecnologias que ele mostrou aqui. Só lembrando a vocês que esse nosso papo, ele também vai virar podcast, então você vai poder ouvir no Spotify, no Deezer e no Google Podcast. E lembrando também que toda terça e toda quinta, às 16 horas, aqui no canal da Pluri, a gente sempre recebe profissionais da indústria do esporte, como o Mohammad, para a gente conversar sobre inovação, tecnologia, startups, mundo digital e esportes, enfim, todos esses assuntos que a gente tanto ama, você encontra aqui no Enzima Live Show. Muito obrigado a vocês pela audiência e até o próximo episódio. Tchau, tchau.